Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Hello everyone, I am Bhante Vasa. I am a Buddhist monk from Sri Lanka. We started a program called Temple Stay Sri Lanka, where anyone can come and stay with the Buddhist monks directly in the Buddhist monastery and experiencing the monastic life. Learning Buddhism and also learning meditation from the Buddhist monks. But this program is not just only about Buddhism or meditation. People can come and also get the authentic experience by being one of us. When you stay at the monastery with the Buddhist monks, you also feel that you are one of us. So we not only sharing what we know, but also we invite people to share what they know with us. It's not like only the Buddhist monks are teaching something, but we also like to learn about the world. Especially, we like to get the exposure you have. We have some young novice monks who are getting the training about Buddhism. We invite people to share their knowledge of English, maybe knowledge of maths, the modern things, your life, the way you see the world, to share with the young ones and also with the adult monks. We are very open to learn from you too, not just be open to teach.
That's right.
Hondai.
Hondai.
Very good.
So here people invite monks at their home because for Sri Lankans, the Buddhist monks are spiritually noble, and the role of the Buddhist monk throughout the history was the spiritual leader and also the teacher for the whole nation. And also they are very noble because they are the followers of the Buddha, pupils of the Buddha. So they are following the path of the enlightenment, the spirituality. So when the monks are arriving at the home, one of them come and wash the feet. So this is an old tradition, even happened in the Buddha's time. So in our culture, normally we treat the adult in this way, especially. Doesn't matter the age of the monks are always in the high position of respect.
Vitaragang mahamuning nivantayami sugatang lokajidhang narasabang patiganhatu satang puji.
And also they invite their relatives and neighbors and friends to come there, and together they make a small ceremony. They cook delicious food, all kind of traditional food there, and they offer the first portion to the monks. So our staple food is rice, so different kind of rice is here, and a different kind of curries there, and the fruits, and also all kind of traditional sweets. Normally we don't see all kind of traditional sweets every day, but in this kind of a particular situation, people prepare all kind of food to share with the monks and also to share with the nears and dears. So the sole purpose of this kind of rituals is to come together to make the connection strong, the communityness. But always there should be a particular one reason to hold a ceremony at a house. It's mostly we commemorate our ancestors. So people feel gratitude about the people who already passed away, the relatives. It can be father, mother, or one of their relatives, or whole the bunch of ancestors, those who already passed away. So they commemorate their qualities, also how they supported present life for them today. So they also want to transfer the merits. So in Buddhism and also in the belief of the Buddhist culture, we believe that we can share our happiness. We can share the good vibe that we collect through good activities. So of course this is auspicious activity and wholesome activity. So this wholesomeness we accumulate, we can share with the people who are already living and also with the people who already passed away.
Yes.
We also found some smaller adventures, like walking through the rice fields with these young monks, and then we got challenged.
Yeah, because Bruno saw this huge coconut tree up there and he never climbed it, and now he was quite interested to climb up and get his own coconut from the very, very top. And yeah, all of the village people wanted to see how Bruno's climbing this tree, this coconut tree. And Bruno, do you got the coconut at the end?
I did the coconut, I got it, and I had to, cut it off with a machete and bring it down. And then he said, yeah, you can drop it. And I dropped it. But basically I dropped it into a very spiky bush, and then they recommended us, better don't get it out, you don't want to get stung by this plant. So I got my coconut, but I never got to drink it.
Yes, and the village people were so welcoming all the time. They wanted to show us everything, like from the coconut tree to different plants.
Yes, in Sri Lanka, Mark and I, we lived in Minuwangode, a small town close to Colombo. And there we lived in the temple of Bantavasa, together with smaller and older monks. And many different things happened to us. And one of them was that we went out at night and we saw actually some really intense ceremonies. And maybe, Mark, you want to hit us up with what happened there?
Yeah, the first night, or one of the first nights, we went to a traditional Sri Lankan ceremony, kind of.
Of the guardian energy of the place.
Yes, and there were many people in the evening, and different things happened. For example, the devil drumming was really crazy. The people started drumming all the time, and they got even faster over time, and then started spinning around. And you can see it as well here. It was a very special experience. But the way crazier part was that two different women started dancing around the fire with a huge, what was it? Kind of
baskets.
A basket on their head, and they started dancing, and around the dancing they prepared the fire for the ceremony. And then the spirit of the village appeared, kind of, and they caught him with different
metal hooks pierced through his skin, which would then be held by other village persons, and they would chase this embodied spirit of the village through this circle, holding onto the pierced metal things in his skin.
And this was for sure a crazy experience in the first nights for me, especially because it's not something normal for me as a European person. And I think was a kind of a cultural clash in the beginning to see what is like normal over there and yeah, what or how we celebrate like traditional village events in our country. Very special.
Yes, and I think in contrast, you know, in our village celebrations we drink lots of alcohol and get very drunk, but there's no alcohol, but people kind of try to get into ecstasy naturally, you know, through these beats of the drum, through this guy who's really like offering himself and going also into a trance state, and free of pain he is being pulled around. And I think that makes everybody so awake and so into the moment, and there's no need to be drunk, but everybody just gets like, whew, okay, like we are present here together.
Yes.
Today we preserve a wonderful culture. Fortunately, we could protect the culture, most of the cultural and religious and ritualistic components. We cannot forget the bitter history of the colonization. The Sri Lanka was under colonization, under Western colonization for 443 long years. We are a small nation, so it was a hard time. In 1815, and since then they implemented their own education system, colonial education, and British wanted to educate Sri Lankans through the modern and conventional knowledge, through the conventional schooling system, and also they embedded Victorian Western ethics into the curriculum. So this is why even here you see all the children, even nowadays, wearing a school uniform. Personally, I believe that's okay, because Sri Lanka is not a country which is doing really good with economy. After independent for the last 70 to 75 years, we have been not doing so good with economy. So here in the school, this is a wonderful day for whole small children, because this is the very first day of their schooling. So their sisters and brothers hosting a beautiful ceremony, a welcome ceremony for the young ones to feel safe, to feel home at their very first day of the school. Well, the Sri Lankan Buddhists, they invite the monks for all kind of ceremonies. So we are also invited to go there and bless the new children, and also give a piece of small advice to the parents. But here the advice coming from the monks is not just religious, but also a piece of advice how a good parenting should be there, how a good education and learning teaching process should be there. To do that, are the monks educated enough? Yes, most of the monks in the country at least have their first degree to do that. Not just the religious or spiritual knowledge, but also the conventional knowledge.
So Mark, you think you would be a good teacher?
I don't know, but yeah, Bante Vasa invited us.
Threw us in the pot?
Yes, as always, he likes to challenge us a lot, but we got invited to the Sunday school, and it was a very special experience for both of us, because in the morning, it was a rainy morning on the Sunday.
Yes.
In the middle of January or February it was, and yeah, we arrived there, stepped out of the car, and like, I don't know, but around 300 children almost were like in white clothes walking around, and yeah, it was a very special experience to see all of them in the school learning in different classes. And yeah, we got invited to also teach our knowledge a little bit to the children, and that was a moment.
Yes, definitely, and I find it so amazing because the Sunday school is voluntarily. It's completely organized by the Buddhist community of monks, and they fund it all, and then they teach the children in Sinhala and in English about Buddhism, and basically guiding the children on how to be an authentic person, being inspired by the Buddha, being inspired by a very humble way of morality. And the children are so happy to be there to soak all this knowledge up, and they even have dancing classes, and they learn the traditional songs and walking meditation, and I think it's something very special. I would have loved to go to such a Sunday school. And
yeah, and all of them were also eating together, right? Mm-hmm. And it was very special because in the beginning the younger children were a little bit distant because they were like, oh, what's going on there? But after a few minutes they become very open, as well as us or me, and yeah, we built up a very beautiful connection in such a short time, and they were so interested in us as well and wanted to learn from us as well and get to know us. It was for sure a blessing to see how such a small moment can change or transform into a bonding connection where everybody can learn from each other. And that's what I really enjoyed on that Sunday.
yes,
And at the end, all of them came together and were singing together to finish up the day probably. And then everybody walked out, and yeah, blessing to enjoy that kind of special treatment there.
another day we went to a pineapple farm, and it's actually quite cool to see how pineapples grow, because you would never imagine how pineapples grow, because they're actually no proper fruits like apples, and they are not coming from a pine. They are basically like a bush.
Like a bush, yeah.
And are very spiky, and you kind of very carefully have to like touch into it and then cut it off. And it was very cool because, you know, it's like not like the farmers are doing it for us. They're like, yeah, here, give us a big knife and say like, okay, go and cut it yourself. And
Yeah, at the end we cut down our own pineapple, kind of, and it was a picture perfect pineapple. It was like from the bush we got it, and it looked so fantastic and full of color. And then yeah, we needed to try it as well. Yes, and the village people were so welcoming all the time. They wanted to show us everything, like from the coconut tree to different plants, and to also this one type of fruit. It's called jackfruit, and I never tried it before. And it's the village people, they built themselves like a huge, like on the top of the stick, he put a knife or a machete, and then like almost 10 meters up in the tree, he cut it, the jackfruit, and it fell down. And in the beginning, the knife also fell off, and he tried to fix it again. And then he got us the jackfruit, and the women in the village, they peeled it off for us and were cooking it as well. And then they served us a beautiful dinner from the local fruits and vegetables.
And another thing I found so beautiful at this farm is that the old grandmother is living with them. You know, and I think this grandmother was over 90, and there, for the people and for the families, is such a normal thing, and also they don't even think of another way, that the old people, they return to their families when they cannot live alone anymore, and then they live in their company until they die. And this was very heartwarming because they tried to integrate the grandmother so much, and even she doesn't even do conversations or much things. She's basically just sitting in the chair for most of the day, looking around, and sometimes she nods and sometimes she smiles. But you know, everybody of course has to adapt their rhythm, but they adapted so unconditionally giving. And you see, I'm I get so much positive memories of how the Sri Lankan people within the community treat each other. There's so much acceptance and belonging.
And including at the same time.
Including.
Yeah, I would say like even though we show and we have our indigenous way of life which is connected with the environment, but sometimes it's sad because of this modernization affected a lot the global concepts. So we also trust more in the Western medicine. I don't deny it, it's fine, but there are a lot of aspects, the forgotten beautiful aspects in our culture, in Sri Lankan culture. So one of them is indigenous medicine. Well, Ayurvedic medicine of course, but this word Ayurveda coming from India. So the Sri Lankan indigenous medicine also connected with the herbs of course, and the massage and also some therapies in the same line of Ayurveda medicine. So if somebody really need to take time and learn about the Ayurveda or indigenous medicine or to get some treatments, is still it is preserved, and there are some Ayurvedic center, Ayurvedic hospitals in a very good condition. So here actually some of our participants wanted to enjoy and experience the Sri Lankan indigenous medicine and massage. So here we have Panchakarma, also quite similar to Indian Panchakarma, and also Ayurvedic herbal bath, Ayurvedic herbal steam bath, and also some treatments for the well-being. In Ayurveda or indigenous medicine in India or in Sri Lanka, it always highlighted prevention than cure. So this indigenous medicine also not just treating a particular disease or health problem, but also treatments are about the prevention and also giving the knowledge. So while we get the treatment, and we are also getting a knowledge how we have to deal with our body, the mind, and also how to deal with the herbs everyday life and how we can include herbs into day-to-day life. So yeah, this is about it. I think this is also one of the wonderful experiences and one can get in Sri Lanka, which is also not so expensive like in Europe.
When I eat always this really tasty food, then I'm like, I want to learn how to cook like this and do this at home. And we ask, hey, can we also have a cooking class? And he was like, yes, for sure. I know this really nice village woman. She doesn't speak much English, but she will teach you how to cook Sri Lankan food.
Yeah.
We got into the tuk-tuk and we really drive into the very darkest part of the village where there was no proper light anymore, and then in this really kind of dark kitchen we learned how to cook Sri Lankan food. She was cooking on gas, cooking on the fire, you know, atmosphere. You know, you would imagine you have a cooking class in like this really neat place, you know, with good light and where we cook, but there it's very simple, basic level, or even less than basic level, but still the food is delicious, everything is clean, everything is healthy, and I think this contrast is special.
Yeah, and for me, I really enjoy this one typical food with the coconut inside sambal.
Coconut sambal.
Coconut sambal, and I'm a huge coconut fan, especially when I travel to the countries where they have the coconut.
Coconut lover.
Yes, and I learned how to like kind of peel coconut and was like it felt like hours of scraping, and in the middle of the scraping I destroyed this one tool, but the man in the family, he took it from me, and I was like, no, I destroyed it kind of, but he was repairing it straight away, and then I started again scraping and scraping and scraping. It was a long time for me scraping. We changed 2-3 times, but still didn't finish the coconut at all.
Scraping coconut, I think if you do this you get you get muscles by bouldering, but scraping coconuts, you will be a hero.
Yes. And then we had the beautiful opportunity to take this big rock and to kind of squeeze,
Grind.
To grind.
Grinding.
Yeah, you were grinding it.
Grinding the spices,
Yes.
grinding the lemon, grinding the garlic.
All together to make our own
Curry?
Yeah.
Kind of.
With the lentils together, and yeah, it was super tasty. And I also really enjoyed what's the name again? Roti, yeah.
Roti.
Roti. I'm a huge fan of roti, and we also learned how to do it, and we were doing the rotis as well, and at the end we finished everything. We had the roti, the coconut sambal, the lentils, the rice, and then we were able to taste our cooked food, freshly cooked Sri Lankan food.
And do you cook some Sri Lankan food sometimes?
Yes,
Yes?
100%. Yeah, for me, this lentil curry type of thing. What's the traditional name for that?
Paripur.
Paripur. Yeah, the paripur is something that I integrate into my own cooking cuisine now, because it's not, in the beginning for me it was just lentils, but now I'm using all the spices, the herbals, and also the onions and garlic, and put it all together to create my own paripura.
Yeah, or in India they call it dal.
Dal, yeah, dal. Maybe you know it. Have you ever tried dal? Let us know.
Dal with coconut sambal and rice.
Yes.
Hello, come there?
Hey.
Yes, and then of course we also traveled around Sri Lanka having our own experience, and we ended up in this cool surfer town, very famous right now in Sri Lanka, called Midigama. And we spent some time there. Mark did a free diving course, we had some surf there. But at the same time, coming from this Buddhist background, we also approached the local temple and told them about the program, that they can host people, and they were so happy and fascinated by the ideas, and they say, okay, come by, check out our temple. On Sunday we do this celebration, on Wednesday we do this, and they don't know us, they never heard about us, and suddenly they were, you need to spend time in our temple and participate in all our ceremonies and things we are doing. And
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. දෙවනුවද මම මහසංඝ සරණ යමි. තෙවනුවද මම බුදුරදුන් සරණ මද්ද්‍රව්‍ය වලින් වැළකීමේ සිල්පදය සමාදන් වෙමි. තෙරුවන් වන්දනා කරමු.
no words.
Yeah, it was super touching to see how they invited us as a foreign people to their natural Sunday. And yeah, we were allowed to witness how the people and the children and everybody was so open, and yeah, we silently observed the whole situation because we didn't know what's gonna happen, but I think it was quite interesting to see. In the beginning they all together collected some flowers and they made a long row, and yeah, they gave everybody the flowers and they put it on the altar and then started singing all together. And then some children were allowed to come to the front and were singing, or I don't even know what happened there, but they were like reading something and singing something, and everybody was participating. And yeah, as well, in the end I think they went also into the big hall and ate together. I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think it was a quite special atmosphere to see everybody in white, everybody so happy, so open. And it was quite next to the Medigama town where all the cool people were and doing surfing and everything. And we are like almost 10 minutes away and seeing the traditional life, and on the opposite was so like, yeah, a huge contrast at that moment. And we were both like so, here we have the cultural traditional moments, and then in the evening we go surf and meet the crazy people there.
The party people, the bar people, the restaurant people, like, you know, you have like proper Western culture in this small town, and yeah. Big contrast.
But that's what we love.
That's what we love, big steps. This is a beautiful cross-cultural experience. Temple Stay Sri Lanka with Bante Vasa. I think you will always experience something very different than you expect. Yes. So stay open and be happy to share from yourself and to witness how different life is on the other side of the world.
Yes. For me, the last words. Yeah, for sure. If you are used to traveling, this will be 100% a completely different experience. Because I really enjoy to get to know the local culture, the local community, and that's exactly what we got. Normally, when we travel, we are like seeking and finding our local interactions, but this temple stay in Sri Lanka is like something that is, yeah, inviting you into the community, and it's not something what you need to find, it's something that you were like given. And that's the beauty if you come to Sri Lanka and enjoy the temple stay there with lots of other people. Yeah, every day new people arrived, people left, and it's a nice interaction and exchange all the time between everybody. So feel free to join if you seek for or looking for a real, traditional, authentic journey in Sri Lanka.
Sagen wir nochmal Ayubovan, oder?
Ja.
3. Ayubovan.
So, my friends, this is just a typical day, the Temple Stay authentic experience. And as I already told, we are not just creating artificially this experience. We share what really who we are. And these particular little 2 novice monks are enjoying their best time in their life as children, as novice monks, and it's obvious that they are having a wonderful time. And I personally, as the host of the program, what is the purpose, what is the sole aim behind this program is just to give the exposure to the world, those who are interested about Sri Lankan authentic culture, authentic way of life, particularly the authentic way of monastic life, and also to learn from the others. We are a small nation, especially we are an island, so the Buddhist monks are the guardians of the nation still. So whole nation listen and ready to listen to the monks. So we thought, if the monks are also getting the exposure about the modern world, the modern technology, what everyone in the world like to share with us, would be a wonderful treasure for the young novices like these two small monks, because they have the ability, they have the opportunity to share their vision, share their knowledge to the modern world, those who are ready to learn from us, and also to the Sri Lankan nation. So we are hosting this program not only to share what we have with everyone, but also to nourish our next generation, the next generation of the monks, and also the next generation of the nation. So we learn a lot, we get a lot through this Temple Stay program, not just only you. Thank you very much for coming to us and sharing your valuable time, knowledge and experiences with us too. Namo Buddhaya. Be happy and stay blessed.